when ChatGPT was going public, there's a great book called it talks about the history and like who the fuck is Sam Altman, where did he come from?
And the reality is most of the larger businesses that uses the API for the large language model, they go to
There's a group at OpenAI and they're about to send 3.5 public with the open API so that you can tap into it. And there's this group of people that are like,
So if you want an AI agent to be functional in a business sense, you still have to really rely on the
Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Carroll. Welcome to another episode of the Sales Factory. Today, I'm super excited. In the factory, I've got Phillip Ngo. I hope I pronounced that properly. A top producing former State Farm agent and agency owner, now the founder of AI Mastermind. Phillip spent nearly 20 years mastering every aspect of insurance, rising to the top of State Farm and earning industry accolades like Chairman's Circle and $1 Million Roundtable multiple times. After building a multi-million-dollar business and delivering life-changing financial results for his family, Phillip discovered firsthand the dangers of burnout and imbalance. Determined to create a better way, he dove deep into personal development, AI, and digital marketing, ultimately launching AI Mastermind to help other agents harness automation, reclaim their time, and find genuine fulfillment. Phillip now mentors and trains forward-thinking insurance professionals to scale with AI, grow their teams, and build businesses that support their lives, not consume them. Phillip, welcome to the Sales Factory.
Honor to be here. Really excited to be here.
Excited, man. You know, there's a lot going on with AI, a lot that we can unpack. I feel like I don't have a single episode anymore that it's not mentioned in. I just got off of I was a guest on a podcast before we hopped on here, and I was sharing the crazy statistics of the adoption rate. ChatGPT just had their dev day, and an internet browser, it took about 8 years to reach 700 million users. Facebook took 4 years, and now ChatGPT has done it in less than 24 months. And so there has been this crazy adoption of this technology, unlike anything that we've seen. I partially think because it's pretty easy. It's just a chat window, right? It's easy to get people on. It's easy to get them to understand it when the interface is basically just a block that you either talking to or texting to. I'm curious, man, what are your thoughts around how fast this stuff is adopting and how fast it's moving? Because that's one of the things that I get asked oftentimes is like, DJ, how do you keep up with it? I don't have any better answer than just like, you got to use it. You got to be the nerd that watches ChatGPT's Dev Day live stream. Like, you've got to stay on top of this stuff because it ain't slowing down, man. And technology's undefeated. So where do you see this stuff going, and how do you see it impacting our lives as fast as it's scaling?
Yeah, that's a perfect summary and much better than I can do it because I stopped trying to make the case of why people should adopt AI last year. It's kind of like you touch upon like my personal development journey. When you first get into it, it makes all the transformation in us. We see the difference in our life, and we become like evangelical about it, tell all our friends, and they just look at us like we're crazy. And now I just give people an opportunity. I remember a few months back that there was a insurance agent friend. He was on the financial services side, and he's like, Phil, I heard you do AI. Can you sell me on it and why I should go in here? It's like, first of all, if I have to sell you on it, I'm not your guy. But we can be friends. We can just have a normal conversation. 2 years ago, when I started talking about AI to all my friends, being enthusiastic about like, man, this thing is just mind blowing. And they look at me like I'm crazy. And now, earlier last week, when I flew to Tahoe to give a talk to a group of agents, I see just two, like, I'm guessing they have gray hair, so they're probably in their 60s. And they're just talking about how they're using AI to like figure out how to connect with their grandchildren better and like selecting gifts for the holiday. And it's just normal two guys conversation, right? Yeah. So to me, that's the key difference when you see regular everyday people. And then the very concerning thing is on that same evening when we got a chance to mingle, the dinner before the meeting kind of thing. And there was a corporate executive of an insurance company, I won't mention which, but he made a claim to say, well, I get it, AI is transforming so quickly, but what difference do you actually seeing it making to your everyday life? We're still having conversation with each other. We still have to do manual stuff. You just because you can generate like 8,000 images quickly, does it mean you're going to run more ads? Does it mean you're going to make more sales? I don't think so. He doesn't see that. And to me, like, gosh, that is so alarming of a thought. Well, first of all, he's not wrong. I see the truth in what he's saying. However, it's presupposing that AI is just a tool for convenience. And it just hasn't changed anything, any business result. To which I was like, my gosh, it changed my business result tremendously. It gave me the financial freedom that I have now to break free of the golden handcuff of my captive insurance agency. But I think there's a huge disconnect between what the tool is, how to use it, and where it fit in our life. And I think it's a philosophical question that we all get to uncover for ourselves moving forward. It's a must. I don't
I
have an
love
answer
that.
for what the future brings, TJ. I'm the same as everybody else. I'm just along for the ride,
Right.
trying to keep up, but really just observing myself. The only thing that I can control is myself getting more clarity. And I think that was one of your principles, right?
Yep.
To get clear, your 4A of leadership, like get clear on what the heck you want first. If not, it doesn't matter
Right,
how
man.
fast you go.
That's right. Yeah. If you planning a road trip, but you don't know where you're going, you could find out you're driving in the wrong direction 5 years later and be like, oh shit, this is not where I wanted to
Yeah.
be right now. I think a funny analogy for me, because I love analogies, I think it helps people understand better. I do want to dive in your personal development stuff because I know you've done a lot of stuff like Tony Robbins and things like that. So I'm excited to talk about that. The executive that said, yeah, you're using AI, maybe you're using it to buy Christmas. Like, how's it really? I'm like, that's there was also a guy standing in the field at one time with all the other farmers when the first farmer in the area drove up with his tractor. And the guy said, yeah, I know it cuts down all the wheat, but we still got to pick it all up and do it like we were. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, but we don't have to cut it anymore, right? Like, it's like, to me, artificial intelligence, and there's been layers to this, and I was so excited to have you on the podcast because I'm like, this is the dude I can get nerdy with. And like this episode, sorry guys, if you were here for like high level business stuff, this one's all about AI. I wanna nerd out a little bit because what I don't think people understand that's coming, Phil, is that the first iteration of ChatGPT that got launched publicly, 3.5 with Dolly attached to it back in November 2022. We're 36 months roughly. We're recording this in October. We're 36 months from that thing coming out. 3 years, okay? The improvement, okay? The first year the tractor came out, it wasn't like 4,000x better 3 years later, right? The improvement that is happening with this technology is insane to me. But just on the premise of how people use it, like it's a chatbot at first. Okay, now we're getting into agentic AI. And I actually had somebody, they're like, hey, what's that agentic AI website you're talking about? I was like, no, it's not what it's called agentic, meaning they're an agent. They mean they can
Yeah.
operate on their own. And the latest release, and I've been playing around with this thing, is Atlas, which is ChatGPT's
Oh
new
yeah.
browser that basically you can say, hey man, do this, and it takes control of your screen and is clicking around. I ran a really simple test, okay? And I couldn't wait to share this with you, Phil, because this is fun. The AI is already getting lazy, dude. Like it's crazy, right? And now I don't know if this is like pre-programming limits, more than likely that, than it's like being conscious enough to be lazy. But I basically said, hey, here is all of our customers, and I'm logged in as the Carroll Media Facebook page. I need you to go search them out, follow their personal page and their business page so that our team can do more interactions with them because we'll see more of them in the newsfeed.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, no problem. It gets through the first 50. It's like, cool, I got the first 50. Do you want me to keep going? I'm like, yeah, keep going. It does like 10 more. It stops. It's like, I got 10. Do you want me? I'm like, yes, don't stop until you're to the end of the list. Dude, it got to the point where it was doing one and checking back, one and checking back. It's like, DJ, this is very laborsome task. This is going to take a long time. I'm like, you're a
Yes.
fucking robot. You don't get to say you're tired. What are you doing? And so
Yes.
like it was wild,
Uh,
dude, that like to me, I
uh,
think it's probably limitations, right? Because like AI, open AI is probably
yes.
to limit that.
And
I
and
think
that's part of the reason why I moved away from OpenAI for my main workhorse of an AI
ooh.
tool.
So what are you
Uh,
using? Let's dig into that. What's your
so
main workhorse you're using right now?
first of all, ChatGPT is the most popular. They got the biggest brand, most user, all of that stuff, and they have the most data, so they'll probably have the highest chance to win. So I'm not discrediting them at all. However, they also have a lot of user that just like, hey, on the voice, can you count from 1 to 1,000? I mean, think about you have like the world's like godlike and just some kids say count to 1,000. So that's why they
Yeah.
have to kind of make those tools limited
Yeah.
down.
You got a
Uh,
genie in your pocket and you're asking where to get pasta tonight. Like what?
yeah. So if you're into like the browser like tool, my go-to is actually Comet. And if
Oh,
you're blessed enough, you can do the Claude Chrome browser plug-in, and it's just plugged in right to the Chrome. But you got to get into like a long wait list and all of that. And that,
okay.
in your word, is fucking impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I would use Claude when I was editing the book, as my audience knows, every
Yeah,
other chapter was edited with Claude, and then the other chapters were edited
yeah.
with ChatGPT. And I by far think Claude is the better product. A lot of
Claude,
people,
Claude, Claude, Claude to ChatGPT, my analogy, DJ, is like ChatGPT is like this psychotic hot girlfriend that you used to have, and you don't know if it's like, is it something wrong with me? Is my prompt not good enough? And when you move to Claude, it's like, oh, this is how a good relationship's supposed to be like. Do you feel like that?
oh, that is a great analogy, dude. The crazy. It's like, no, it definitely was that bitch. I wasn't the problem all along. Right? It's like I knew she was crazy. I knew it wasn't me.
Not that I ever
No,
have any crazy exes, but I
yeah.
saw in the movie, right?
No, I've had some crazy fucking exes. I can tell you. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, it's funny, man, because Claude to me, one of the things I have noticed with Claude, I do think it is the better product. I want to make sure my audience understands the history that when ChatGPT was going public, there's a great book called Empires of AI. I don't know, Phil, if you've read that or not. It's talks about the history and like who the fuck is Sam Altman? Where did he come from? Because he looks like he's a college kid, right? But like, no, this dude has been in
Yeah.
Silicon Valley for like decades. Like he is a tech bro in the fullest sense. And so basically, he's like, hey, we can make billions of dollars with this fucking technology if we get it right. And so like he is like burn the world down if we have to, if that means we get
Hmm.
AGI, because once we have AGI, we can cure cancer, we can solve everything. Like the smartest thing around, well, we can solve all the problems, right? Now, I have like a in my mental brain, I have like this like almost like a political uh cartoon drawing, right? I'll probably go to Chat GPT. This will be fun. I'll go post this later. Which is like just a trail of ruins of Sam Altman just burning everything down to finally get to like a desktop computer that is like says AGI. And he's like, now we've made it, right? Like he's burnt
Yeah.
everything else in. Like, cause dude, you see like Nvidia taking money and giving it to Chat GPT, that then give it to Larry Ellison, and Ellison gives it back to fucking like Nokia. Shit, dude. I made thousands of dollars today on a Nokia options play because ChatGPT, or I'm sorry, Nvidia says we're parking $1 billion in it. Like, dude,
Oh, I
like,
didn't know you trade option as well. That's
yeah, oh, I
awesome.
trade off. Yeah, absolutely. It's like I don't go to the gambling boat anymore. I just trade options. But it's like it's crazy this whole ecosystem that has been created. And like Sam Altman thinks that like, hey, as long as we get to AGI, that's all that matters. So back to Claude. There's a group at OpenAI, and they're about to send 3.5 public with the open API so that you can tap into it. And there's this group of people that are like, it's not ready. It's not safe. Sometimes it's pulling up kitty porn. Sometimes it's pulling up, murder stories. It's like going off the rails, right? It's that crazy ex-girlfriend. It's like got psychosis. And Sam Altman's like, okay, yeah, that's a problem. We got to get that fixed. Turns around, goes to a board meeting, the very next meeting, and then raises
Yeah.
like the billion
Yeah.
dollar round, right? And so what has happened is like these group of people, they're like, we're out. They went, they started Anthropic, they've created Claude. And so for me, I'm like, I think Claude, they may not win in the sense of money long term. I think they'll win as being the better, like unknown type of
Yeah,
AI
and
platform.
the reality is most of the larger businesses that uses the API for the large language model, they go to Claude,
So
and then they use ChatGPT as the backup, right?
So this is funny. My AWS guys, I was just on a call with them, like the dudes that work at AWS, with all the server space we buy. They literally told me that they got intel that ChatGPT, OpenAI, used Claude code to debug ChatGPT 5 before they launched it. And it's like,
That's
what?
silly.
It's just like so it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Sorry
and
guys if you're
at the end of the day, it's kind of like when the mobile phone just came out and people are having this conversation, and they still do, and it's so pointless now. Is it iPhone or Android? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like it's about your outcome. What do you want? That's right for you, your audience. And I'm pretty tool agnostic. I and a lot of time when I do something that I haven't solved before, I kind of just get very clear on what I want. And if I'm not clear, then I'll use some AI to help me get clear. But that's the first step, right? And then I just go prompt shopping. And then this is something that you can use an agentic browser tool. I
what
just
is
say
this
like,
prompt? This is a new term, Philip. This is why I was excited to have you on here. I knew
yeah,
I was going to learn some shit.
so I just go to Comet, right? I just say, here's my prompt. Open my ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, GenSpark, Manus, run the same prompt, right? And do each of those for like 2, 3 times. So now each of them go boom, 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 and then I don't know, go do God know what I do when I'm waiting for drawing on the board or some burpee or whatever. And then I come back and I kind of look at it, what works well, and then I continue with that. And sometimes it's this tool, sometimes it's that tool that give you the best result.
I
But
love
I'm
that, man.
clear on what I want. That's the first step, and it allow me to pick. If not, just pick one tool, and it's like the loss lead the loss,
Yeah.
and people, especially insurance agents, they get impatient. It's like, oh, this stuff don't work, and they go back to the old way of doing things, right? And that's what I try to help most local business owner with, just overcome those hurdles.
I love it, man. I think that right now we are at this inflection point where people are figuring out what the internet is, but they don't truly understand what web pages and websites are going to be, right? And so, like, I think they've got a premise on what AI is. It can do things for you, it can think, right? But they don't really have an understanding about like the applications or the wrapper type businesses that are being built once these models get here, right?
Yes.
Um, my thing is, I'm worried we're going to get to AGI so fast that like we're not going to get a fully experience uh this like this exploratory time that we're in right now of like building things where there's still
Yes.
a lot of human in the loop, right? I think once
Yeah.
we get to AGI and it's agentic at that point, like you get a half-baked thought and it's like, sit down, DJ, I know what the fuck you're trying to say and what you're trying to do. And then
Yeah.
it goes and does it, right? And it's like
Yes.
we don't need an application, like you don't have to, like I don't know, man. I
Well,
just see if
well,
I can get
there's some relief of a news. Some of the top developers in the space, they separately, and now they kind of know each other's thought, and they say that this agentic problem is gonna take a little bit longer to solve than what the hype makes it out to be. So right now for productivity, you rely more on the architecture. So for your audience, it's like there's automation, which is a lot of if this then that, if this then that, right? So let's say if I fill out a form, then I receive the confirmation email. So that's automation. And then you can also put in an AI in the loop, like if this, then deploy this AI to figure out what is the response of the customer and then come up with the response and then send the next email. So that's also built in. So if you want an AI agent to be functional in a business sense, you still have to really rely on the architecture a lot. So it still give us maybe 8 more months. I don't know,
Well,
but a little
that's
bit
the thing because I'm
longer.
like, when's AGI happen? Okay, let's go 10 years from now. 10 years from now, like 2035. I don't think there's any tech bro in Silicon Valley that doesn't think we're going to have AGI by 2035, right? Sam Altman's even said that if you took 2025 ChatGPT and gave it to somebody in 2020, they would say that's AGI, right? Like because the
Yeah.
goalpost keeps moving. But here's my thing, man. We didn't go. This is the perfect analogy. Henry Ford didn't roll the Model T off the line And then fucking 5 years later, 10 years later, we had Tesla self-driving vehicles, right? Like that is what I mean by AGI and agentic AI is like, we just got this shit 36 months ago. Like if you were a
Yeah.
tech bro, maybe 2017, maybe 2018, you were messing around with this, but you had to be in the Bay Area back then to even know that this was happening. Your best bet would be some automated chatbot on somebody's website, right? That can like
Yeah.
do basic
And
appointment.
I think, like you say, pe people need to really understand the fundamentals of it. And that's what I attempt to do is just giving people the experience of it. There's a saying, opinion is a poor substitute for experience. And
Oh.
in my program, I do my very best to just tell people like, do this first. What is the response? And then they see the response for the first time and they evaluate what's going on. It could be good, bad, that's on them. And then when needed, and I put some of my critique in. And I think that that kind of experiential learning for all of us, it just stick a lot deeper compared to I tell you like the bullet point and what to do, and that's some boring stuff, right? Like I like this is how I learned snowboarding. You know, some friends just took me up to the top of the mountain and just watch me roll down, but trusting that I have enough balance and coordination, and thankfully they were right. By the end of the day, I can carve, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot faster than the structure way.
I love it, man. It's this is why like we're gonna homeschool our kids, but it's like the traditional instruction. I was just on a podcast earlier. I was talking about Q&A, and that's like one of my favorite formats. Like if I get to present from stage and I got an hour, I want to do 30 minutes of talking and then 30 minutes of Q&A, because when Phil gets to ask a question that Sally doesn't know, now Sally gets the benefit of both knowing a new question and about to get the answer, right? And so
Yes.
I love that throw them in the deep end of the pool and see if they can swim mentality, because we're also humans, man. Like that's
Yeah.
maybe this would be a good transition into the personal development stuff that you've done. Is like we have so much more capacity than what we give ourselves credit for. We have so much more. One of my favorite sayings is from Brendan Burchard, and he says the power plant doesn't have the energy; it generates it. Okay. And we're power plants. Like we can generate our thoughts, we can generate our ideas, we can generate our energy. I'm curious, man, like your take on it. If you're watching this on the video, he's just lit up with a big old smile. Because I know you've went on quite the journey for a personal development sake. Let's shelf the AI for a second. I want to talk about that because a lot of people, man, they may
And they
just
are
not.
both related, right, DJ? Because
Yeah.
we will be forced to. I mean, I'm gonna throw out some statistic, but everybody can fact check the statistic. The number might not be right, but the concept is true. Like we're getting just another 14,000 of Amazon laid off, and before that, Microsoft laid off 5,000. And these are smart people, right? But an entry level position has decreased by 35% since last year as well. And the War Forum Economic Report and all that stuff, like they all predict that the job market drastically changed because of AI. I've known many friends, some of the people I respect a lot. They just got laid off, right? Uh, and they're smart people. So you got to think about, and also for my own business, there was an employee that I'm not satisfied with her performance, and now I'm deciding, do I want to hire another human being and invest my time to retrain, or maybe invest 3 or 4 hours to build an agentic tool to replace that job function? And heck, it's going to be a lot more reliable. There's no more challenges. Um, until like, AMS cloud went down, but that's only what, a
Yeah.
few hours in
Yeah.
like a span of several years, right?
Exactly.
So we're all going to be forced to identify like what are some of the things that human can do and humans should do, and more specifically, what are some of the things that only DJ Carroll can do and should do that no one on earth previously and in the future can do, that you are uniquely positioned to do now, and that's your cosmic profession, right? That's
Ooh,
and
cosmic
that's my.
profession. I fucking love that one.
I did not
Oh,
come up with it. I learned it from Bo Eason. So I
wow.
joined his mastermind, and for the last year, I've really just been grappling with this concept to peel down the onion of what is my cosmic profession. And for your audience, I just want to maybe just invite you to think about that. For me, that concept is regardless of what job I do, whether it's, this high school part-time job taking inventory at a supermarket to a claims person, a marketing person, insurance agent, a consultant, a coach, whatever it is, what is the common thread among all of that, regardless of the pay, the job title that I always bring? And what are some of the jobs that we have all had, or like the days where I just feel like that really erode my soul, where I just feel like I'm 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 putting my soul in prison just so that I can swallow up that one meeting, that one day, and it just I feel like I really violated myself for doing that. And nothing might be wrong with the job. The profession might still be a very noble one, and it's the right thing for other people to do. It just feels so wrong to me. So navigating between those two, like I know what are some of the things that I should be doing that would be aligned with me eternally, right? That's my sole purpose here, right? And and if we want to approach it from a biological standpoint, I read a book on Homo sapien, right? Sapien, the book. It talk about us human. We're not the only human primate creature that evolved from the apes. There was the Neanderthal, and then there were a few other human-like species. But what make us different from the rest is a few things that I could remember. Number one is we're able to see things that don't exist, right? So meaning you have a vision of creating something. It's in your mind. It doesn't exist yet, but you can explain it to me, right? And then I can kind of see it from my own filter too. And then we have this trust and this bond, this community, and like, let's build that together, right? We can work together as a community. I mean, the downside to that is when you see something that don't exist and you say it, like we're capable of lying too, right? So that's the double-edged sword. but that's what's unique about us human. You say that we're generator, and yeah, I relate to that. I have countless of example because I've always been a curious guy and a skeptic guy, especially when it comes to this spiritual woo-woo stuff, so I was like, give me the proof, right? And I've been blessed to see some undeniable proof in whatever challenge that I have asked God or the universe to present to me. And like now, it's just in my vein, my body, to know like that's how the universe works. We're more than the meat and the flesh, right? We're more than
Right.
just our thoughts, and that's what makes us different moving
Yeah.
forward.
Do you think do you think AI will help wake more people up to that?
In a very so the one of my mentors say this: the universe give us signal in three wave: feather, brick, and bust. Right? So feather is like feather
I
is
like
like,
that.
hey DJ, that might not be a good idea, and you might just slip and fall for being hurry out of the door for a little bit, right? Brick is like you actually broke your ankle, and then bus is when the bus actually hit you. So I think we're gonna have many feather and many bricks, and definitely bus is when you got laid off and AI took over your job, and you might find yourself in like your mid 50s, and you have no other choice because the strongest energy that we carry with us is still survival, right? We were genetically wired to survive,
Yeah, man.
but when that survival energy kick in and making it be a must to identify who I am beyond my name, beyond my job title, beyond my skill level. I mean, if that doesn't do, then guess good luck next life. You get to try again. And I've been blessed to have some internal crisis that I had to go through. And I'm happy to talk about it too, where I attended a silent retreat for 10 days because
Like a
I
monk?
was just
Like how the
so
monks are just like go silent?
yeah. So here, I mean, the backstory. You talk about trading options. So there was a period of time where Or I opened my insurance agency because I wanted to buy a home for my mom. We're immigrants, so buying a home for my mom is like everything. So I'm so blessed that I got to do that for owning my insurance agency after like a year and 2 months, you know.
Wow.
I was so excited. I went to a trampoline park, broke my leg. Next day is Mother's Day, and like, Mom, here's a key, and I'm like on crutches, right? And she doesn't know to be happy or to be worried. So, but after about 8, 10 years of that, chasing the numbers and accolades, and really, I think you talk about the hunter mentality, and I think a lot of the hustle culture, it could come from a place of pain in our childhood, because for me it was from the scarcity, the lack, and I worry for my family security. So and also I felt like I have to be something to be worthy, right? I was just be a top agent, so then maybe I can be a good guy. So I chased that stuff, and I always just come back to the office after a trip that I take my mom around the world. Like, oh, I say, here goes another year. Like, there's got to be more to life than that. So I did everything that most people would do. Is like, maybe I'm just lacking motivation. Maybe Tony Robbins can help me, right? And he did, in a very different way. There was one event where it was about wealth mastery, and they talk about financial planning and all that stuff. And they're picking people from the audience to share their plan. I'm excited, like, dude, I know my finances. I was saving like 50, 60% of my income because I was still
Wow.
young. I still am. I'm 40 this year. I was like 32, 34 back then. So when the big guy picked me, and I kind of go through, and he's like, Phil, when was the last time you had fun? And for that moment, it's just like I'm reminded of my past, like the truth has come out, and instead of just like putting on a shield, I just remember all the fun stuff that I did externally, but I wasn't there. I wasn't being it. And I realized I wasn't living my life. I wasn't being a human. I was just I was just doing the thing to because it looks fun and it looks cool. And I just start crying, not from a place of pain, from a place of freedom. I just felt free. And that was the opening for me, right?
Wow.
Where where was I? We were talking about trading. Okay, so
No, that's
after that,
hold on. Yeah, but hold on a second. That's super powerful, man, because I I think, I have got a blue collar background, and I said this on Tommy Mello's podcast. He owns A1 Garage Doors. They'll do 250, 300 million bucks this year. Like, Tommy is a freak of nature. Like, that dude will be a billionaire. I 100% believe it. I said this on the podcast for the first time. I've said it since then, but I don't think we give flowers to the right people. Meaning, I think we celebrate those dudes that are like the top agent, the top income earners. I want to be a billionaire. I want to make, but it's like, yeah, but how about the dude that makes 150K a year take home? All his bills are paid. He's not stressing about money, and he doesn't miss a single dance recital for his daughter. He doesn't miss a single little league game for his son. And like, they have the
yeah,
couple vacation. Like, to me, man, like, you've got to be very fucking careful. And I've just learned this the hard way. I started my first business when I was 18. So like 18 to 28 for a decade, it was fucking grinding, right? Hustle, hustle, hustle. It's like, and I'm okay with that. I will own that forever, that I will not hate the hustle. It's like hustle porn. It's like, yeah, you need that for the first decade of your life. Like, you got to put in the
yeah,
work. You've got to do the work and get punched in the face and learn the lessons. However, Corey Reichman, Allstate agent, great guy. He's his one of his sayings is, "Life is too short to drive an ugly car." And it's like, yes, like, save money, make money, do that, be financially responsible, but also don't forget to live, man, because
yeah,
the feather, the brick in the bus. Fucking tomorrow might be your day for the bus, and it might be an actual bus that you don't make it back from, right? Like, I
yeah,
think it's we live in this world of social media and fast growth, and like, millionaires were never put on like they are now. Billionaires, hedge fund man, like, there's a whole TV channel, CNBC, just runs nonstop of just like the richest people in the world talking about making even more money, right? It's like, it has never been in our faces like it is now. And something deep inside of me, Phil, hopes that maybe AI does take a lot of people's jobs. And as much as I don't like socialism, maybe we do have to figure out a universal basic income, because maybe a large portion of the country just gets to live and be with their family and be happy, man. Like, maybe maybe we shouldn't work 40 hours a week. Maybe it should only be 4 days a week. And on Wednesdays, everybody has to go do their hobby and like have fun and do their thing. Like to me, man, there's something deep down inside of me that hopes that maybe less people have to suffer because of this technology. And sure, maybe some will suffer along the way, but net positive, maybe it'll be better for
Yeah.
everybody. Because, like you said, Tony asked you, when's the last time you had fun? Like, what the fuck
Yes,
y'all
and
work for?
I did do all the fun stuff, right? I did do the living, but I wasn't being it. I wasn't present,
Hmm.
right?
Even more
So
important, right?
so like I mean,
Jim Rohn says the guy that he says pity the man who while he's at work he thinks vacation, 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 and while he's at vacation he thinks work, work, work.
yes,
Like, be where your feet are.
yes, exactly. And I resonate with that sentiment that yeah, I think we need to support some of those people to give them an opportunity. But I also see this divergence too, and you see it every day when people get better at AI. That there's one group of people that will just use AI so then they can be less of themselves. What do I mean by that? You use AI to do the things that they used to do so then they don't have to do it anymore. And then they just stop there and they just be smaller and smaller, clinging on to more comfort, to security. For example, okay, I use AI to write an email for me. Can I automate it so then I don't even have to write the email? Great. What are you going to do with the time difference? How are you employing your God given creativity, your God's gift to serve more people? I don't know. It's just for the paycheck, for the business growth, right? And then there's a group of people, and I'm not advocating for this neither. It's another extreme. You use AI to write one email. What else can it do? Okay, I'm gonna do it more. And then I find myself in this category too. If unchecked, I start to work even more, even though it's claimed to give me 10 more weeks per day. I mean, 10 more, yeah, 10 more day, 10 more hours per day. But yeah, good for 10 more weeks per day too. But then I just like, you mean 15 minutes now? I can do 5 hours equivalent work. I'm gonna work 15 minutes. Next thing I know, I'm consistently staying up late until 2 a.m. for like
Yeah.
2 weeks. It's like, wait a minute, this is not the life that I want to design. Reset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Andy Frisella talks about that. He's like, some people are just wired to like work, right? Like I think Alex Hermosi's in that boat, right? Like there are
yes,
there are guys that like you look and like they don't have a family, they don't want a family, they just want to build their business.
and
And I'm like,
that's the
so part of me is like, I'm good for them, man. God put that in their heart, not in mine. Who am I to judge that, right? Maybe
yeah.
that is their calling. Like, look at the fucking first form business that Andy Frisella has built, man. Like, holy smokes, dude. Like
And as long
those.
as it's their cosmic profession, and
Mm,
I know that my cosmic profession is not that, and that was just
yeah.
my default meat and flesh nature that I was just not mindful at that time.
Mm.
So that's the
Talk
key
to talk to
difference.
us about mindfulness, man. I'm curious. Do you meditate?
Yes, it's a big part of my life now.
How often?
Every day, twice.
Wow, twice a day.
Yeah. So I mean, the practice is very simple, and I've been introduced to a lot of different meditation practice, and to most of them, I learned it. Went to a retreat, was it 3 days, 1 week. They're all amazing. Just find the path. But for me, the Vipassana, that form of meditation that I learned to the silent retreat, that I find is my path. So it might not be everybody's path, but when I find that, that's what I do, and it's very simple. I just observe my breath and observe the sensations in my body. And believe it or not, after because I was such at a low point in my life, DJ, leading to that silent retreat because I after my I didn't break from State Farm officially yet, but mentally I did. So
Yeah.
I focused on financial freedom, mistakenly thinking that more money would give me the freedom so then I can have more time to do whatever the heck I want. And to which now I realize firmly that I was miserable as well because I was purposeless. All I
Mm.
did is just wake up, do some pig slaughtering in the market or get slaughtered, both way. But I realized that I didn't have the security that I thought I would. I didn't have the freedom that I thought I would. I didn't feel like I was contributing to humankind. That I was so far away from what my cosmic profession was. However, I do believe that it was a path that I was supposed to take so that I can tell the story now.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I remember I made a lot of money that day, way more than I did for like a whole year of my insurance agency. And I showed up to the gym sweaty, and I was just not happy. Yeah, intellectually, I know like, okay, write your gratitude journal. You should be grateful. This is awesome. Like, but it's just all in the mind. It's all into, and I saw this MMA trainer. He's so happy with his $15 an hour job with his clients cleaning up the mats. Like that guy's in flow. I remember I used to feel like that. What the heck happened, right?
Mm.
So, so after about, again, I'm a stubborn guy. I take bricks and not feather, right? But so 7, 8 months of that, maybe even longer, I was like, this is not right. So I need to just like time out on life. So I checked into this silent retreat, turned in my phone, and I realized that over there, you can't even write, you can't read. Like you're just there to do this technique, right? But to me, I was
Wow.
like, I don't care anymore. Whatever you say,
Yeah. Let's try it,
I
right?
just
Like,
yeah, I just feel like nothing else matter. I need a so what? I just do this, right?
yeah.
And then all they did for the first 3 days just observe your breath going in and out of the nose. I'm like, how the hell is that gonna help anybody?
So, 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 could they talk, or like, how did they could talk to you guys so you knew what to do, but like you had to like
There's
commit
minimal
to silence
talking.
for 10 days?
Yeah, there's minimal talking. At lunch, you can sign up to speak to the assistant teacher. If you have questions, they can answer. Um, I mean, if you're feeling really unwell physically and
Right.
something,
Right.
they'll take care of you. But like they just leave you alone. They have some boundary. The man stay on the man's side, the woman stay on the woman's side. When I talk to the assistant teacher, he would just say, why don't you just observe that in the next meditation and find your own answer? So after several answers, like, okay, I get it now. I'll just keep all the questions to myself.
So 10 days, dude, like that's intense.
Also, there's this term called noble silence. So I can't be like, let's say you and I going through it. I can't be looking at you and kind of like communicate non-verbally,
Yeah.
neither, right? It's noble silence. Just me observing
Wow.
me.
Where did you do that at? Was that here in the States, or did you go out?
So this is how potent the program is, DJ. The program started in India, and when I signed up to it, I was like, where do I pay? So I realized like, no, there's no payment. You show up and they feed you, they house you for the whole 12 days. It's like, where's the money coming from, right? And then they would only let you donate once you
On the backside.
graduate. Yeah, once you graduate from the program. So
Wow.
there was one guy, he left on day number 8 of I don't know what happened to him and all that stuff, right? He just left. He couldn't handle it anymore. Like students like that don't get to donate because you didn't create the result. But over
Wow.
time, this thing is like grown internationally. There's a center in like almost every state. There's gonna be another one built in California now. And yeah, it's keep and the people that I got to talk to at the end of it, I asked like, why are you here? They say, well, my mom was here and I saw the difference. And when this and this happened, I know I wanted to go. So they all came because they saw some transformation of people that graduate from it. Not because they were like,
Wow.
dude, you need to go, right? Like nothing
Yeah.
like
It's
that.
not
Yeah.
rehab. Like,
Yeah, for result. Yeah. So
wow.
it's a terrible business model, but because of result, it works.
Yeah, I mean, or it's like the ultimate fucking sales hack, right? Like it's like,
Yeah.
hey, it's like somebody. It'd be like if somebody called me to do marketing for their business or to coach them. They're like, "Well, how much is it?" And it's like, oh, we got a blank check method. It's like, well, what's that mean? It's like, I'll work with you for 30 days. You pay me based on the results I get. And it's like, if you got real life changing transformational fucking results, people are probably like, I wouldn't have
Yes.
paid 10 grand for this 10 days ago, but now I'm going to write you a check for 100. Like,
Yes.
it's,
And DJ,
wow.
this is the one more testament to it as well. I, I'm very generous with all of my gift, my energy, but one of the things that I have the biggest block on is donating like large amount of money. I always think twice before I do it. I always get in my head. But when a friend asks me to help with whatever, I never think and I just do it, right? So I know that there's some energy that I need to work on. But once I finish this program and when it's time to donate, without thinking about it, just write a check and all that stuff. That's when I know like something fundamentally shifted in me because I've never done that before. I always think about something when it comes to that. And then
Hmm.
I checked one of my investment. Well, I got my phone back, and I got a bunch of messages from my friends that's in the investment community. It's just like ding 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 ding, ding. And then turn on, and my crypto portfolio just literally 20x that donation that I just made. And I just looked at it. I was like, huh, that's cool. So I'm aware that's nice, but then I put it right in my pocket. Nothing changed in my life, and I move on. So I was so
Wow.
influenced by money, and I'm not saying that I'm not, but now it doesn't have nearly as much power over me as it once did. It's just through this process. So
Yeah, man.
that's my new life.
Yeah, I'm no theologian. Will never claim to be, but the good book says, the love of money is the root of all evil, and I think that's the important piece to remember there. It's not that rich people are evil or people with money are bad. It's that if you
Yeah.
fall in love with making money, right? If that's the thing, you got to be careful, man, because it's a slippery slope. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm I'm a huge fan of Napoleon Hill's work in Think and Grow Rich, but even more of a fan for Outwitting the Devil, and where he talks about the devil controls people by having drifters, right? So if you lose that
Mhm.
purpose, and if you're just drifting, and then one of the ways that you will you will basically be lured is by the promises of riches, right? Like if the devil thinks that he
Yeah.
can lure you that way, and you also gotta be careful because it also says that those who are highly favored by God are also highly favored by the devil, right? So
Mm.
you got to be careful with that stuff, man, and understand. You got to not let it own you. I think is super powerful. Luckily, my wife and my kids have grounded me. I feel like that's one of the X factors that I have now is because I have a different sense of purpose. I have a different sense of clarity. I'm not, I was very mindful to make sure that I wasn't like, oh, my kids are my purpose now, right? It's like, no, no, no. Like my purpose is still Coach Carroll. Like I still think God put me here to weaponize the next generation of business leaders and their teams. I truly believe that because it's something I can do with or without money, no matter how much I make or how little I make. I still enjoy it just as much. And like that's how I
Yes.
know like I'm in
And
the
and
spot.
and that exactly is it, DJ. In it's so amazing how clear I got to observe myself and life with my eyes closed, because that's all we did during the silent retreat. And I realized that the sensation that it does in my body when a small win versus a major win sometimes is exactly the same, right? Like our body don't know the difference, right? Small amount money, big amount, little client, big client, or wife yell at you a little bit, or like you got your bankrupt job, like those the small big thing. Sometimes we all feel it the same place in the body. It's all the same bodily sensation, and ultimately we put ourselves in suffering when we are too addicted to a certain sensation, where we feel like we needed it, right? Or when we don't want a certain sensation so much that we're willing to do anything to get away from something. Or three, the third one is we're totally ignorant to how it's influencing us, and it's all in the body, and sometimes it's just so simple. And that was my biggest takeaway from that whole journey.
That's wild, man. I can't imagine 10 days of just like thinking. The older I get, the more I'm in business, the more I'm like, just want to think. My new goal now is to be, I came up with this over the weekend. I want to be a trust fund farmer. So I want to have a trust fund that just dribbles me money, so I'm good. And then I just get a farm, whether I make money or not, because you can't farm
Yeah.
year round in Kentucky. And so I just want to like play outside during the summer and then learn and read
Yeah.
in the winter because just think, man, because I've gotten so much clarity when I'm just like walking around on my farm, walking around by the river, like
Yes.
just with my own thoughts. And it's such a mood booster. There's actually been studies of like the I think it's serotonin, maybe is like the chemical or whatever. Like if you're just out walking in the woods, like what it does to you, because like we all live
Yeah.
in these concrete cities. No, I don't anymore, but like most people live in these concrete cities, and it's like that's
Yeah.
not good for the frequency in your body. Do you buy into all that woo woo stuff now, man, about frequencies and stuff? Because I remember like the first time I had a
Yeah.
buddy telling me about this, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? We're vibrating at different frequencies. Well, get the hell out of here. Where's your
Yeah,
tinfoil
I
hat at?
mean,
But it's like,
whatever
well, it's a
words
real
and language
thing.
that resonate to people, I think it's all describing the same thing as human we know, and that's like my path is when I close my eyes, I know what is the truth, like through experience, and I know it's not filtered by my mind, it's not by my intellect, um,
Mm,
yeah. So whatever that is for people, just know what's true for you,
I love
frequency or
it,
not,
man. I love it. I love it. Maybe you're on zero frequency. That's a frequency too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because
Well,
E equals MC squared, so everything is energy, right? So that's not wrong at all. Yeah.
I love it, man. Let's we're almost out of time. I knew this was gonna happen. It's gonna go by too fast. Talk to me about what you're seeing right now from an efficiency, productivity stance with these agents. I work with a lot of agents. I know you've got a ton of agents that you work with. What are you seeing? Because one of the biggest hurdles I find is compliance, right? They think,
Mm,
oh, AI is not there. It's like, no, it's there. Like corporate's just keeping you from using it. I was at a
yeah.
conference a few months ago, and there was a big speaker there that was talking on AI, and the guy was like speaking at the corporate, meeting in a few months, and I'm like, half of the stuff he talked about is not compliant, right? It's like, how do you balance that, man? Where it's like, the
Yeah,
power and the efficiency of some of these tools, but then agents not being able to use them or aren't using them.
sure.
What are you seeing out there on the landscape?
I tell agents approach it in these three steps, and usually most business owner, not just agent, but especially agents, skips step number two, and that's why they never get to step number three of what they want. Step one is get very personal with AI. In your 4A of leadership framework is getting clarity and aim, right? So you can use AI to learn faster. You can use AI to discover deeper about yourself, and then teach AI about yourself so it gets personalized. If we don't do that step, it's like Allison in Wonderland, right? Excuse me, where should I go? It doesn't matter if you don't know where, right?
Yeah,
So,
we'll
and
surely
and
get there.
also that also it will for the productivity addicts. If you teach AI more about you, you're gonna get a lot more productivity from it because when you're really short in time, and if it already know about you, it's gonna give you exactly what you need without context, right? So do
Mm.
that part, and I think most people get to do that, except for those that just like I'm too busy about to think about what I want and define the purpose for my life. Then I think Bus will come and give some clues if that. Um, Number two,
The bus will come and give some clues.
yeah, and it won't from me. It's just I just know that I follow the same rule. If I don't listen to the universe, then the bus will come. And worst of all, my wife might come, right? So that's the fourth step, and I don't want to get there. So uh, the second step is um, just just unlock your craziness. A lot of time, especially for insurance agent, we're
Mm.
rewarded for following the rules because it's a highly compliance. But just create like you're like a little kid. Like my daughter, she doesn't care if the drawing is good or bad. She just like,
Junior
"Gah,"
drawing,
and look
baby.
what,
That's
and she's
right.
just like making stuff up as she go, and do that with AI. And when I do that, it did two things for me. Number one is when I just start to use AI to put like people that I admire and onto like faces that they like and just send them pictures of it. It create like very memorable connection between me and them. Then and it just built my network a lot further and faster and deeper. Um,
Unpack that again. What'd you say there? You did
so
what with it?
so for example, let's say an insurance agent know a big mortgage broker, right? And you want to build good relationship with him, and then you find out that he really likes the Lakers, right? So then you put him next to Kobe Bryant and Shaq or whatever, right, in the jersey.
Smart.
You go to Walgreens, you print out like a $30 big frame, and you ship it there, and like from Phil, and they're
Oh,
gonna receive it. And
that's
they're like,
good,
"What the
man.
heck is
That
this?"
one's
Right?
good.
Right? And they're gonna call you versus you have to chase them. But I wouldn't know what to do with that until I do all this stuff, right? And also, it gives me the skills to figure out things. So then, on phase number three, it's just focus on one business process at a time. I already have the skill now I can implement and just get that down to the T before I move on to the next shiny thing. A lot
Yeah.
of time people just want to, I just need to focus on this one and they skip step one, especially step two. And now nothing really changed. It's the same old process. It's not a it's not a transformative environment that they seek. It's just business as usual. AI is a tool for convenience, and now they're playing by the same old rule, which is bound to be disrupted.
Wow, man. That's some good shit. That was some good shit, Phil. Dude, I knew this podcast was going to just be chocked full of good information. We did spiritual journey stuff. We're doing tools. We're doing techniques, strategies. You know, one of the beauties about writing this book and editing it with AI is like, not only does it have my 500-page manuscript, but it also went through the process. And so now it's got stories and stuff with me. And literally, like, I can give it very small context windows, meaning like when I say a context window, it's like how long is your prompt, right? And part of your prompt should be the context window of like, here's who you are, here's who
Yeah.
I am, and here's what the fuck's going on, like to get to what we're doing. And it's like, no problem, coach. It'll be dark and moody, just like you like. Like, it's like, how's it know I like dark? You know, it's like, when I was asking about the lighting and stuff for my set, I was like, hey, move the light more this way, put it up a little higher. It'll give you more of this impact. It's like, it's so
You notice I would
powerful,
say
man.
dark and moody, my windows just automatically fall down.
What is you got a voice set up on there where it just did that or something? What's it?
No, no. Actually, at 3 p.m. here, it does that as a reminder for me to go take a break, and that's my physical cue that I
That
set for
is
myself.
smart, man. Nice little trick. We talked about Listen, guys, I'll tell you, the first time I ever meditated, I thought it was the weirdest thing in the world. I just sat in the floor in my office, like laid down, because my buddy was like, "Hey, man, just set a timer for 5 minutes and just focus on your breathing and do box breathing. 4 seconds,
Oh
4 seconds,
yes,
4 seconds, 4 seconds. That's it. Just box breathe. That's it." And I was like, "Okay," and I did that, and I was like, this is so weird, the whole process. But then when I got done, dude, it was very similar to what you said. It's just like this, like, whoa, I'm in a different
yeah.
space now. I'm a different person out of the backside of that. I can only
Hmm.
imagine 10 days. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could go for 10 days no talking. I'm quite the orator, as you can tell,
I
Phil. And it's like, I don't know, man.
I
But
think that's your head talking, but I think if the
there,
guy that wrote the Hunter Head game, he can do it, and he would really enjoy it.
I love that, man. I love the challenge. Thank you for that. How can people find you, Phil, if they want to check you out online, they want to connect with you, talk more about AI, see what you're doing with the AI Mastermind. Like,
Yeah, so
talk to the people. How can they find you?
yeah, we're just shaping up the program. We'll be rolling it out more. So just visit us at AIMastermind.com or just email us info@AIMastermind.com. We have a workshop every month surrounding a different topic, and we also have a weekly program for the people that have done the one-time workshop to just continue to grow their skills with AI. And the nice thing with that community is we created a lot of templates that have solved other people in the community's problem. So if they have challenges with recruiting, with even evaluating the ROI of ad spend, training team member, and all these are compliant for captive or independent agents. And if they want to have like marketing funnels, like we have all those template out already for the community. So
Love it,
and we
man.
show them how to do it. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Guys, go check him out. And again, if you haven't liked, commented, subscribed, shared, left a review on the podcast, wherever you're listening to it or watching it, please do so. It helps me get in front of more people so that I can live out my mission of weaponizing this generation of business leaders and their teams. Phil, this has been a blast, man. Thank you for coming on the
Thanks,
Sales
DJ.
Factory. Guys, until next time, I'm your host, Coach Carroll. It's been another episode of the Sales Factory. Hustle, it's worth it.